G'day YouTubers, and thank you for tuning in to today's very different video on YouTube. Today I'm going to be playing 2048, but I'm also going to be commenting on so far throughout the rest of June of 2024. And in fact, the early part of it, of course, we are heading up towards mid-June. Apparently, we have actually seen temperatures dip below freezing, which is just somehow very, if not really unusual. That's actually more reminiscent of wintertime or spring rather than summer, which seems somehow very unusual. And why the heck would it just still be very, very cold? I've got no freaking idea. But hey, maybe the climatic experts will have to tell me because of climate change and global warming. It's just a bummer somehow. But anyways, without anything conflicting being said, I'm straightforward going to appease myself and to just holler out all the things that so far this month had to offer. Do you remember how terrifyingly traumatic May has been? You know, of all of the nasty and gnarly Halloween-y type content I've been making on YouTube. Well, thank goodness it stopped. And the last time I actually made one of these videos was either the 18th or the 17th of March. And that prompted the sign that things were starting to shape for a new, fresh start. And I think that's a very good thing to possibly say the least. Well, anyways, without anything too bad in the universe has gone around within me, hey, I think I feel so much better. So much so that the amount of bad stuff had to be thrown away at this time. I don't know what to really say, hey, but I got this funny feeling right inside of me that who knows what am I actually gonna say, hey, but I'll go say otherwise. Of course, yes. Recently, so far, during my time around Wednesday of this week, I went to a place called the Greenfields Medical Center, and I met a lovely psychologist named Tamrin. I was also there with Sophie as well, so I'm not telling you who these people are, but obviously I'm just straightforward thinking at the back of my minds of how the heck my appointment was like. It wasn't actually too bad, and I was actually able to finalize and stand up what the hell was going on back then in May of 2024. So, May of 2024 has been, as of course, yes, if you paid attention so far into my YouTube channel, has been by far one of the worst months so far hitting so far this year. However, hopefully June of 2024 will start to shape things bright in a very creative way. And somehow, there's actually been a lot of things that have actually helped me to change my life during a huge concurrence of various things of late. And without jumping into various conclusions like an absolute, I don't know what to really say, hey? I'm not going to say anything rude on my YouTube channel or else I could get exiled from making videos of late. Well, without sounding like a complete lunatic, obviously, hey? Somehow, one thing I can really say is that there's been lots and lots of things that actually has helped me to improve making content much nicer in a very genuine way in order to have a very sustainably understandable kind of audience. And somehow I'm straightforward, the kind of person who seems to, you know, go in a very nice way without just saying anything bad in the universe is going to happen, okay? So I just think that, you know, I wouldn't think of how either good or bad the universe is, but then, hey, you know, I could probably say otherwise. That's somehow one of the biggest things I can just talk about is just everything in the universe. And I almost feel like I'm in out of context mode because I've got no more words to say here. But for what I can work out with the appointment with a psychologist named Tamrin, Sophie is my, I don't know what to really say, hey? I feel like I'm just going to tongue twist names though as I'm making very crappy videos on YouTube, and I didn't want to swear on YouTube because YouTube is very sensitive these days. You know, if I just swear and then I get demonetized, well then that becomes a never-ending nightmare. I mean, do I really want that on YouTube? No. But anyways, I met this lovely psychologist named Tamrin, and Sophie is Sophie Bevan, it's the psychological nurse. I think it's more like a mental health issue or well-being nurse. I think she was. I met her about 3 years ago. And, that came to a part where I actually had a very terrible moment at a previous college, which I shouldn't really remember. But, of course, yes, I'm going to, how would you say it? I don't know what to really say, hey, but it's been quite a while just to talk about certain things that have occurred in various events of late. And, of course, yes, I also want to talk about some more things which related back to the part when I just said the black-haired Goomba. Do you remember I remember saying that? Well, let's try and not remember it, okay? Because that unfortunately posed a negative effect to, someone at college, which I shouldn't name until, I'm done. But, of course, yes, the real reason I was going overboard, when I talked about green-haired waifus from anime and stuff, and without saying the H word, that would probably demonetize YouTube as well too. In fact, anything inappropriate can easily get demonetized. Now, obviously on YouTube, for those purposes and stuff. So as I'm actually making such a very boring little video like this, and I mean it's quite relaxing at the same time, I don't know, whether I can really say to myself, how the heck am I just doing things in a very better way? And it's game over. Well, bloody hell. The real reason why I was teasing was because, it was probably because of that picture of Greenhead Waifus. Well, I got interested because it reminded me so much of, there's a couple of characters I might show you later on. 2 anime characters, which I think has actually shaped my life. And there was a person called Ryan Village. If you remember his YouTube channel, his name is Ryan or Raku Nexus. I think I've got his YouTube channel linked like so. And apparently I'm vlogging. Let me just turn back. Apparently I've got saliva on my tablet screen because I keep on talking. Jeez, I don't know when the hell should I just get rid of it. Okay, it's gone. So without the saliva taking over this video of light, so that being said, I am straightforward going to be very careful of what I put up on YouTube. As always, as this sounds. Oh boy, how productive I am. Very much of such a very, very productive. Okay, so yeah, I met that psychologist named Tamrin, and she was actually very, very nice. I did explain to what happened so far in May of 2024. You don't have to go and pretty much think about it too much, because everything is all calm and sedate now. Noticing that I talked about, being quite angry at the bus, or just slamming doors and stuff, or just yelling and screaming and shouting and swearing, or raising voices and stuff. I actually had a very bad temper moment back then on several May days, but I don't want to really discuss about it because, I had some very troublesome moments with another support worker, which begins with T. But anyways, I just don't want to try and remember them because, they've gave me a very hard time. They've caused a whole bunch of confusion and delay to my computer portfolio. And that's why, yada, 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 I just don't want to try and think about it too much. And, that's why I don't really want to think about them anymore because they did some very harsh and hard times for me. And I'm not actually being like, of course, yes, I could get rude, but I don't want to sound like as if I'm just discriminating one's person's origin from either ethnic or religion or race or, someone's disabilities. I don't do that. Okay, so whenever I start to pick up a fight, I just don't go into that sort of way. Okay, so obviously very important to know. Only express anger in a much more correct and understandable way, but not to make some very stupid and foolish excuses if you're going to upset people of people from like different backgrounds. We don't want that. Okay, so I'm sorry if I'm starting to rant here, but that's very important to know. But anyways, I'm going to explain to you what I've been doing so far this month. I've been carrying on my animation yet. I haven't really released the new animation yet, but I'm currently working on the plane crash scene with the car and stuff. Hopefully that should somehow turn out really well, and that should somehow be really good. I'm hoping for a let's just say a late June release, because it's been very time consuming to get a very precise and concisely good animation to be done. But nevertheless, I've been doing somehow so far quite well. And there's also quite a few things I might show you on paper. Okay, yes, there's actually quite a few bits and bobs. I actually had a look at this. Sophie gave me these things. These were all to do with anger management stuff. Thank goodness I did the flower candle breath, and guess what? I did smell some flowers when I was outside in the garden. And, did a lot of breathing techniques, especially in the garden, when it's that good and nice. And there's also some papers here that the psychologist has actually brought in within Mio. These are like NHS psychology pieces of paper and stuff. And also I looked at the Trauma Aid. Thank goodness we're run by a company called Trauma Aid. I'd like to say thank you so much to those people who have helped me along the way. To help me like so. And then there's also bits of paper here which talk about the questionnaires and all kinds of different tasks and different stages and different things like that. Different briefings and informations that you find on things like that. This is great. So there you go. All of these are provided by people who work as psychologists and mental health agency peoples. Very, very nice. Very good advice, simplified info, of course. There you go. That's very, very nice. And by looking at it, it looks all too good. Well, very, very nice overall. We will not talk about you to anyone else without asking you first. You can say yes, you can say no. And you can also decision to take part or not. There you go. See, I'm a man, Yep, very, very nice, because, I am straightforward, obvious in a sense. Yep, very good advice. Thank you very much, NHS, the Birmingham Community Healthcare. And they also talked about this eye movement desensation and reprocessing for symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder with intellectual disabilities. So yes, I've been looking at it, of course. Yeah, I can definitely actually tell you about so far of late, and you can definitely tell what's been happening so far within the way that I've been having to have a go at, because, it's quite very good info that I've just been looking at. Yeah, there you go. So, just proves to you of how much so far I had to really suffer from, and thank goodness this year's summer has provided me such a nice cargo of information to help me about what has been happening so far this year, of course. Yep. There you go. There's very, very quite nice literature going on in here. And I mean, I'm not going to sound like as if I've just desired to do something a little bit harmful or anything else, but this is very good info. And I might show you the other side here as well too. Very, very nice. That's very good info here. I'll turn to the other page. There you go. It talks about the information I provide, all the benefits of taking part and the possible risks of taking part. And yeah, I think that's actually very good advice. And I better cover the person's name, because I don't want to try and think about it too much without explaining too much, of course. There's different bits of info about participating on those trials. These sort of trials that talk about mental health and stuff. And they're very good bits of info. That's what I can really say. It's very good info. And I have grown up in a very learning disabled type environment, because I've got autism and I've got other things related to it, which I won't talk about. And there you go. That's the back of the paper that you've looked at. Yada yada yada. I wouldn't read that too much, because all of it is very complex in literature wise, but the literature in it, it's very fantastic, very, very good. So I should probably save that for another time. And they've also bought me this little sticky note, which here's something I want to be in. I can be in the study. The next time I'll be meeting up with the psychologists and stuff, there will be like different batches of psychologists. I can pretty much be in a study or not, or you can have just both, of course. Of course, you can just do both of them, or you can just do psychology sessions as well too. Maybe it's all up to me whether I'm gonna do it or not. But hopefully that's probably about it in this video. So I won't leave too much of all of that full data behind the tragedy so far in May of 2024. And since we are in June, things are starting to get lighthearted. So please give this video a like if you really enjoyed this video. Subscribe for more for some videos in the future. And as always, thanks so much for watching and bye for now. Oh, I didn't present to you something though. Before ending this video, I actually remember going on that trip on Friday, and I actually cut my finger when I was outside in the park because unfortunately there was a nasty pop of soda on the bus. So that's very much nasty, and there you can see this nasty brutish cut after trying to open up a leftover pop of soda that was left in the bus to the open wound. So be very careful next time if you're going to be fidgeting with your own pop of soda. Once you throw them away, straight in the bin, especially those which have been left over out in the streets. And be very environmentally friendly. That's all I can really say, hey. Without tongue twisting my flipping voice.